Hey everyone! First off, do you like my sweater I got? Pretty crazy, huh? I got it at a thrift store. And speaking of thrift stores, I thought it would be really interesting to make some art with some art supplies from thrift stores. And so yeah, I'm calling this the Secondhand Art Supply Challenge. And you can use art supplies from thrift stores or from yard sales or whatever. And yeah, so here I'll show you everything I got. So the first thing I got was at Goodwill, and it was $2 for these glue sticks. 4 of them for $2 was a super good deal, so I was like, I just can't not buy that. I also found this drawing pad. It's a 3D drawing pad. And all the pages have like weird grid. So on the front it shows a drawing with like a Sharpie or something, so I'm not sure, maybe it's supposed to look like it's popping out. Here's a pack of some stuff that I found. Just a variety of number 2 pencils. Another variety of number 2 pencils. Some friendship bracelet string stuff. It's kind of plasticky. But this is what I was most excited about. It is Liquitex Art Sticks. They're pigmented crayons. So yeah, I've never actually seen anything like this. I think it's just really fancy crayons. Oh, it says copyright 1994, so maybe these are a little bit vintage. Yeah, so I'll give those a try. At a yard sale, my mom picked me up these. What are these? I didn't even take a look at these yet. They're quality memory bookmarkers. Honestly, I think they might be brush markers. Oh, a little bit, sort of. So they're called La Plume, and it has a bullet end. It has a brush end. 25 cents, we got a nice variety. This end that I called it a bullet nib is actually definitely a fine liner end. So those are interesting, yeah. My mom also found this watercolor tin. It's Coors Student Watercolor Cakes. It looks super cute. It even has its brush still. Yeah, it has a bunch of different colors, so I think that might be fun. And I needed some kind of paper to work on, so I got this big bundle of construction paper. Probably so old and gross. Good variety. Ooh, the black might be fun to draw on. Let's try out these fine liner pen things. So these markers, the brush ends seem to be fine, but the fine liner tips, most of them are dried out. I didn't expect much, but I'm surprised that all of the brush ends are still working. Now let's try out the Liquitex Artist Quality Crayons. They smell kind of like a crayon. Feels like it has more pigment in there. Perhaps a bit more creamy than like Crayola crayons. Crayola crayons are so waxy. The green feels like it's a crayon you get at a restaurant. So all of them feel like better quality than Crayola, except the green and the brown ones. They definitely blend together better than crayons do. It's pretty satisfying. I'll do another one. Yeah, that's a really nice progression. So now I'm gonna try out these student watercolor cakes. Colors of fun. And excuse me about the crayon residue. I'm not a fan of these plastic brushes. So far it seems pretty pigmented. Ooh, this color is my jam. Color of the year 2018, my favorite. Here's my final color swatches. While that's drying, let's try out this 3D drawing pad. It's been actually years since I've drawn Bongo, my little angel winged dinosaur buddy. So I'm gonna try drawing him. I was inspired by the front of this book, which has a dinosaur. Okay. Comment and tell me if you think it looks 3D. Maybe you need glasses for this. I don't know if you have like 3D glasses and you put them on, and if it looks 3D, totally tell me. That'd be super crazy. But yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, done. So these aren't quite dry yet, but I can already tell that they're not the best quality of watercolors. It came with a plastic brush. I wasn't expecting much, like cracking and already flaking off, and that means that it's just doesn't have a very good binder in it. I give these a C-.
So here I am using the supplies I got secondhand. I wanted to make an illustration that had to do with the chilly weather and make it sort of like holiday themed. So I decided to draw a blue jay wearing a cute little red scarf. And one of the most difficult parts of this challenge was using the pink eraser on the end of the number 2 pencil, because those erasers are so bad. Like, they don't even really work. All they do is like just smear around the graphite and destroy the paper. So I tried using the eraser as little as possible. The paper I used is some tan construction paper, and I really love drawing on toned paper. Typically, you know, when you're drawing on white paper, you add midtones and shadows, but working on a midtone paper gives you the option to use some highlights. Using white paint, like, you don't really, I don't know, I don't typically use white paint too much, so using it on the tan paper was super satisfying. Like, just to see it like pop out is super cool. Speaking of the paint, because I was working on a paper that was more absorbent, it's actually not too difficult to add the colors on there. It just kind of soaked into the paper rather than like drying on top of it and flaking off like cheap watercolors typically do. So yeah, that was a plus. But using the plastic brush was pretty painful. It worked well enough, but it was super difficult to do tiny details because it's just like, you know, a blunt tip. But after I added the colors, I used one of the brush markers to go and do the fine details, like the stripes and some of the lines and stuff. And then I used some of the art sticks to add shadows. And finally, I used the number 2 pencil again to add some more shadows and some like feather textures on the bird. This painting really inspired me, and I think I'm gonna do a couple more of these. They're so cute. I want to do like a little cardinal and a little hat, like a little snow pom-pom hat. Yeah, I think that'll be super fun. But also, if gotta plug this now, plug my merch. If you like this design, I will have it in my Redbubble shop where you can get it on like shirts and stuff, and I have that link in the description. And I only used some of the items I got in this challenge, and my sister really wants me to use the rest of them to make like some sort of monstrosity, and so I'll be doing that sometime soon. And if any of you try this challenge, like, feel free to tag me on Instagram or leave me a comment, because that would be super cool to see what kind of stuff you're able to find at thrift stores and at yard sales. Anyway, here's the final piece. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you really have a nice week and happy holidays. Bye!